Rates in FlightSpan Ops are extremely flexible, allowing you to set multiple rates for your services. You are able to charge by seat, flight time, kilogram nautical mile, flat rate, and more, as well as add taxes and other surcharges to each rate. If you have a simple rate structure, setting your rates will be a relatively straightforward process. For complex rate structures, you'll need to follow the steps below to ensure the interlocking pieces are set up properly. Prior to setting up your rates, ensure that deposit account numbers, company settings, and staff roles have all been properly set up. Use the following specific sequence to create the rate structure. First, create group categories. Add rate groups to the group categories. Create new cargo types if needed. Edit passenger types list definitions to comply with country rules. Create minimum cargo charges. This feature is currently not in use. Create rates. Create data substitutions. Create price line items. Test rates. Link staff roles, associate default rates with accounts, and finally set the default flight request rates. Next, we'll look at an example rate structure and how the pieces fit together to give the big picture before diving into the details of each step in the rate setup process. The group category General Public is created with rate groups of DOC, General Public, and HB, Produce. Under Rate Group DOC, multiple rates are set for different types of loads. For example, the D rate is set up for flights outbound or from interior to interior locations. Two different standard kilogram per nautical mile rate formulas are set, one for cargo and one for passengers. Data substitutions are set to grant a standard free baggage allowance, to standardize passenger weights for charging purposes, and to add 5 nautical miles to the total distance for each stop. Each data substitution has its own settings to fine-tune it. For example, the takeoff and landing substitution includes a setting for rounding to the nearest 10 nautical miles. Price line items for taxes, insurance, and dangerous goods surcharge are created that can be applied as needed. Finally, roles are set up to define who is authorized to charge these rates. Next, we'll look at how that rate structure is applied to an actual flight. Mrs. Apaminga is traveling from Sentani to Kasanaweja. She weighs 75 kilograms and has 20 kilograms of cargo and will be paying the D rate. For the passenger calculation, the distance of 149 nautical miles to Kasanaweja adds the 5 miles per landing data substitution for a total of 154 nautical miles. Then distance is rounded to the nearest 10 nautical miles, resulting in 150 nautical miles. The distance is then multiplied by the 179 rupiah factor and the standard adult weight of 80 kilograms, resulting in 2,148,000 rupiah. For the baggage calculation, Mrs. Apaminga's 20 kilograms of baggage is reduced by the 10 kilograms free baggage allowance, then multiplied by the distance of 150 and the baggage factor of 251, resulting in a charge of 376,500 rupiah. Next, the tax price line item is calculated by multiplying the passenger and baggage fares by 11% for a tax of 277,695 rupiah. The insurance price line item is a standard of 5,000 rupiah per passenger. The 55,000 rupiah airport tax price line item is added. And finally, the company currency rounding setting rounds the total down to the nearest 1,000 rupiah for a total of 2,862,000 rupiah. Note that when you were creating the load, the weight and distance data substitution numbers used for the calculations can be read under the respective boxes containing the actual numbers.